Call Layla, Alhaina, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalaki, Bashim, Harawat, Kakurash, Barakathon, the water Bible Ball, Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, and to the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine and city Shalom. Today we're going to get into a video whereas it has been basically proven that Esau, Edom is controlling the weather. Through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, of course. Now, let's not get the two twisted. Yeah, Esau doing this shit, but the Lord gave him the technology to do so because it's the Lord's will that all these things happen. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not give Esau too much credit. He's only doing this because the Lord has programmed him to bring evils upon the earth. That's it. Esau is not in charge. He ain't running shit. He the biggest tool in the toolbox because he has three purposes. Punish us, which we're coming to the end of that, meaning our captivity. Number two, destroy his own kingdom with nuclear weapons. That's why the Lord gave him that technology so he could destroy his own kingdom. Number two. And number three, rebuild our kingdom for free over a period of 1,000 years, and then he out of here. That's it. That right there is the whole will, the whole reason for Esau even existing. Now, let's grab the video real quick. First, I want to grab the scripture, Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See? He covered the faces of the judges of the earth, not where and who is he? So, if the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, who gave it? The Lord. How about Shem Shai? Because it is his will that's being done, not Esau's. He's just using Esau to bring forth the evils on the earth to punish who? To punish 2/3 of our own people, to punish Edomites, to punish Amalekites, and to punish the heathen nations. It's as simple as that. Don't give Esau all that damn credit. No, he's only doing this because this is the Lord's will for him to do it. And he's earning his judgments. See how cold the Lord is? Now let's go ahead and grab the video real quick. Now this is on redacted. And the name of the video, Breaking Hurricane Milton being controlled by direct energy weapons. In which we knew it from the beginning anyway, when Helene came through, even before Helene. Look at what happened to Hawaii. Yeah, they're using this shit. Let's grab the video.
What was that last bit?
No one should make the decision when the government and your share. Tell all of you that no.
Let's see what Biden mumbling about first.
We are not. The federal government is not controlling the weather, and he slammed any of you who think that that's the case. Watch.
Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman from Georgia, is now saying the federal government is literally controlling the weather. We're controlling the weather. It's beyond ridiculous.
See, that's what Esau do when he get caught. He'll gaslight the situation, make it seem like it's ridiculous. That's gaslighting, when they make the truth sound like it's absurd. Now, I got a scripture for you. Check this out. Now, you know that Biden is not in charge, right? He's not running nothing. He's a puppet. Check this out. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. That goes from the president, right, that you see in front of you on up and right back down the ladder. All of them wicked. Now, let's try to make out what the rest of his sentence he's saying, because he's doing a lot of mumbling.
It's got to stop. Moments like this, there are no red or blue states. There's one United States of America where neighbors are helping neighbors. Volunteer.
No, they're not, because you threatened them to put them in jail. Ain't that's what you instructed your sheriffs to do in North Carolina? When the privately owned helicopters was trying to rescue people, they got threatened with jail time. See? Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. As soon as, let me get it. I don't want to butcher it. Just told a bold-faced lie, just that goddamn quick, multiple lies. Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. This just told you that these Edomites are born liars. Let me go up to verse 2. Yeah, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Yes, they do. Now they're trying to use the weather and pretend like they ain't doing shit. And you see this at the bottom? See this flag with the fringes? You are under British law. Your constitution never had any power. They used it to fool you into thinking that you actually had rights. The United States never got independence from Great Britain. So the 4th of July that you celebrate every year, you Christians, you celebrating a lie. Let's keep going.
Volunteers and first responders are risking everything, including their own lives, to help their fellow Americans. State, local, and federal officials are standing side by side. Let me repeat.
No, they're not. Once again, you lying. Because now we done got reports that they short stopping help from getting to these people. They got set up roadblocks and the whole shit. They want these people to die. And you want to know something else that the elder brought out today concerning North Carolina? Guess who's basically running the show up there? BlackRock and another major Edomite entity. But you want to know who's really in charge of running shit in North Carolina? Cackling Kamala Harris's husband, who just so happens to be a fake Jew. Let that marinate for a minute. Y'all gonna get enough of trusting the wrong people. Even if it costs you your life. Yeah, you gonna learn to stop trusting your enemies.
Repeat, no one should make the American people question whether their governments will be making sure that this is acting on strikes. They'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Look at her face. She look like Butter in the meme. You can't even understand this clown, man. Who gonna believe a mumbling clown or they even know what the fuck he's saying? These are your leaders.
What was that last bit?
No one should make what the government and your share. Did you guys?
Is that another language? I don't recognize that language. I speak a few, but I don't recognize that one at all. Let's go.
Get that?
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
I hope you understand that.
I didn't quite understand.
And by the way, do you think that this guy would be read in on government, geoengineering programs? Like, we got to get Biden on the phone. We got to get his approval for this.
I do not, but he was in politics, just after the Vietnam War when we did, in fact, use cloud seeding to flood enemy trails.
Yes,
so the government.
Speaking of cloud seeding, a couple of days before Hurricane Helene formed, planes were caught in that area seeding clouds. So there you go. So yes, bioengineering is real.
Popeye
has in fact controlled the weather and has had that technology for a long time. So what about that?
Just even separating yourself from just the government side of it. I mean, we talk about NGOs on here at the show all the time. Talk about Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, talk about Lockheed Martin. They get to not have things regulated because the government gets to hand things off to all of these organizations that are controlling HARP or these next rad radar systems and all of this other stuff that we get to sort of step back from, and we can claim plausible deniability. Right? Like, hey, yeah, your government is not doing it. Wink, wink. Your government But what about these other non-governmental organizations which are receiving massive grants from the United States government? He's lying. So we're going to sit down with...
He's always lying, Clayton. He's always lying.
Dane Wigington in just a moment of Geoengineering Watch to talk all about this weather control and all of the new data that he's uncovered about what is happening with Milton. In fact, I mean, specifically, why it suddenly just bounced off of Cancun. We'll talk about that with him in a second. But first,
we want to tell you about our friends over at HelloFresh because this.
Hold on, we can fast forward that. Okay, here we go.
Helene's path and behavior just the result of natural processes and climate patterns, or was it manipulated? The circular blue flashes seen in this video are frequency transmissions from the NexRad network of transmitter installations. All available science evidence makes clear that atmospheric frequency transmissions can and do have a repelling effect on air masses, especially if and when the air masses have been seeded with electrically conductive nanoparticles. The brighter the blue flash from a frequency transmission installation, the more pronounced and powerful the repelling effect on any air mass or storm in the vicinity will be. Where there are no blue flashes, there is no transmission, thus no repelling effect, thus no resistance for a migrating storm. Translation: a migrating storm will be hindered from moving toward frequency transmissions and will easily migrate in a direction with no transmissions. So again, I ask, was Hurricane Helene's path and behavior just an act of nature, or was it engineered? You decide.
well, the voice you heard there is Dane Wigington. He is the lead researcher and administrator for the website geoengineeringwatch.org. He's the executive producer of the groundbreaking climate engineering documentary called The Dimming. I encourage all of you to watch it. Dane has devoted the last 20 years of his life to constant research on the issue of covert global climate engineering operations and the effort to expose and halt these criminals. Dane Wigington joins me now. Dane, great to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Clayton. Thank you for your voice in this most dire issue that too few are aware of. And regarding climate engineering, it's not speculation or theory or hypothesis. It's a matter of the historical record with mountains of documents to back up the fact that these programs have been ongoing for decades.
Ongoing for decades, and I think a lot of Americans are like,
I bet you that's how they created Hurricane Katrina too. And the snowstorm that hit Houston. The blizzard, rather. Yeah, they did that shit.
this sounds like a conspiracy theory. It's absolutely not. You broke a big story this week that lawmakers who were briefed on these weather weapons concluded that what happened in North Carolina, Hurricane Helene, was engineered by the Department of Defense. Can you elaborate on that?
Geoengineering Watch is communicating with congressmen from the Carolinas, from Connecticut, from Tennessee, and they are all very aware of these programs being ongoing and operational. And I want to delineate this. There's a very marked difference between, quote, weather modification, which many people are familiar with, single engine, propeller driven airplane with a few flares on the wings. That is not this. With climate engineering, we have, for example, a KC-135 military tanker can distribute 100 tons of toxic material into the skies to seed cloud moisture in a single payload. So they're two very different animals, and the local publicized weather modification operations are simply used as a smokescreen to mask the unimaginably larger climate intervention operations. So, and again, we have, going back decades, congressional documents at geoengineeringwatch.org. One is 800 pages long, outlining the scope and scale of these operations, even going back to the 70s and before, and the intergovernmental cooperation, even between governments with otherwise adversarial relations, is stated as such in this document. Document calls for blanket legal immunity for anyone and everyone involved with these programs. So again, we have...
You heard that? They got immunity. Psalm 73 verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Film footage of these aircraft at altitude, nozzles visible, turning on and off. This is not condensation we see in our skies. All military tankers and all commercial aircraft are outfitted with a high bypass turbofan jet engine, jet-powered fan, 90% of the air that moves through that engine is not combusted. So we should see, except under rare circumstances, we should see nothing behind these aircraft. And we're just asking people to investigate the data, connect the dots. This is absolutely ongoing.
So let's talk about, I want to talk about Helene in a minute here, but right now we've got Hurricane Milton bearing down on Florida, and overnight we see this small sort of secondary storm now in front of it, almost like a twin storm about to hit Florida. Then overnight we also saw these massive wildfires breaking out in the Tetons in Wyoming. So, a lot of Americans are so frustrated right now. They're sitting there saying, why would our government?
See, that's probably from the direct energy weapon. That's how they set Hawaii on fire. Yeah, the government is just another word for Esau. They like to hide behind words and labels and titles. They've been running from their identity since Genesis. But yeah, these are the people, destroyers of the earth. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. We're going to bring it out later. Let's get some more of this, though.
Do this to us. First of all, let's talk about Milton. Is there any
Modification operations are simply used as a smokescreen to mask the unimaginably larger climate intervention operations. So, and again, we have, going back decades, congressional documents at geoengineeringwatch.org. One is 800 pages long, outlining the scope and scale of these operations, even going back to the 70s and before, and the intergovernmental cooperation, even between governments with otherwise adversarial relations, is stated as such in this document. Document calls for blanket legal immunity for anyone and everyone involved with these programs. So again, we have film footage of these aircraft at altitude, nozzles visible, turning on and off. This is not condensation we see in our skies. All military tankers and all commercial aircraft are outfitted with a high bypass turbofan jet engine, jet-powered fan. 90% of the air that moves through that engine is not combusted. So we should see, except under rare circumstances, we should see nothing behind these aircraft. And we're just asking people to investigate the data, connect the dots. This is absolutely ongoing.
So let's talk about, I want to talk about Helene in a minute here, but right now we've got Hurricane Milton bearing down on Florida, and overnight we see this small sort of secondary storm now in front of it, almost like a twin storm about to hit Florida. Then overnight we also saw these massive wildfires breaking out in the Tetons in Wyoming. So, a lot of Americans are so frustrated right now. They're sitting there saying, why would our government do this to us? First of all, let's talk about Milton. Is there any weather modification by the government being used or directing of this storm into Florida from your evidence?
Short answer, yes. And if I could back up to why would our government do this? Why wouldn't they do this when they know this has been business as usual for decades? If we look at what the Washington Post published all the way back in 1977, that the U.S. military had conducted no less than 239 open-air biological tests on innocent, unknowing U.S. civilians. That's what we know about going back that far. If we look,
See that? They did that shit in Chicago and Philly. Just spraying shit, military, spraying shit on the citizens without their knowledge. And then when they got caught, they lied again.
the nuclear bomb detonations in Nevada, we have peer-reviewed study now to prove that those detonations eventually caused no less than 500,000 downstream deaths from the fallout for U.S. civilians. That's peer-reviewed study. So again, for those that can't imagine that the people who actually control our government, which I would argue is not any elected official,
Nope.
it's those who control the flow of money, this is business as usual, and why wouldn't they?
Small hats. He want to say it, but he can't. So I'm going to say it for him. It's the small hats doing all this shit.
Do this? Why wouldn't they use weather as a covert weapon of control? If we look all the way back, Clayton, to film footage of Lyndon Johnson in 1962, former U.S. President Lyndon Johnson, 1962, on film, on the record, ranting like a lunatic, stating we had the power to control the world's cloud layer then, 62 years ago, and quote, "He who controls the weather controls the world." So again, this is not speculation. And we have other governments like China openly announcing their massive weather modification operations. And yet if you bring the subject up here in the US, suddenly you're marginalized. That needs to change. In regards to Milton, there's no question it's being manipulated. And there's a global network of frequency transmitters that have a repelling effect on the air mass that is heavily seeded with electroconductive elements. And if you saw the track of Milton, got hung up a bit on the Yucatan Peninsula. There's a massive transmitter in Cancun, and we recorded the transmissions from that, trying to bump that storm back onto track. And again, once it gets near enough to landfall in the US, where the NextRad network then becomes the controlling element, we've recorded this again and again and again. Even with hurricanes like Harvey, for example, Clayton, you might remember 7 days in advance, they seemed to know where it was going to go and that it was going to sit there for days. How could they possibly know that unless that's the plan? And we recorded Harvey. We recorded the actual transmissions with Harvey, Ian, Maria, Michael, all these hurricanes and their interaction with the transmitters. This is patented technology. So again, it's not like we're speculating.
All right, that's all I wanted him to say. We can come out of this now. Y'all can go back and watch the rest of this video. I suggest y'all check it out. Once again, this is on Redacted. And the name of this video is Breaking Hurricane Milton Being Controlled by Direct Energy Weapons. Now let's get some scripts. We told y'all these, but see, like we said, Esau think he getting away with some shit. No, you're earning your judgment, baby. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Verse 5, yeah, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire is hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, spoil mean to rob. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein. This man weaponizes everything. Your food, your water, even your medicine is weaponized because guess what? Medicine is not supposed to kill you. Real medicine is not supposed to have any side effects. Damn sure side effects does not supposed to include death. That's not medicine. But Esau, I tell you it is. Go to the book of 2nd Ezra. All this man does is lie. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. Yeah, they think ain't nothing gonna happen to them. No, you just earning your judgment, man. That's it. Let's go to Jeremiah. Verse 7, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in teeming? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Because they used to be able to get away with shit. Now they're being exposed before the ink dry. And now they looking stupid as hell. You heard Joe Biden's mumbling. Yeah, their wisdom vanished. He tried to gaslight it. All he did was made himself look guiltier. Verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbor, and he is not. Yeah, he's exposed. He out here bucket naked. Everybody telling on him. Go to 1 Timothy. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 4, he is proud, knowing nothing, but dotting about questions and strifes of words, wherefore cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings. Verse 5, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth. Can't tell the truth shit. Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. That's why they want those lithium mines and those quartz mines in North Carolina. Because he think that gain is godliness. No, you just covetous than a motherfucker. And you gonna pay for it. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings. You know how they like to throw them word salads at you that don't end. Remember big ass words that don't mean shit? That's what this is. Avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. See, that climate change shit is bullshit. It's an excuse to get up in the sky to do their wickedness. And this lady said it. She said they was doing research on climate change or some shit, but she discovered that they were spraying metals and toxic chemicals in the atmosphere on purpose. Once again, Esau is showing how unfit he is to rule and how childish and emotional he is. This man want to murder everybody and lie about it. James chapter 1, verse 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He's emotional. This man been in his feelings for over 2,000 years about us. And we are the main targets for real, because if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't be declaring war on his own country. There's snakes in the plane theory. All he got to do what he thinks in his mind. He bring down the whole plane. He gonna get that one target on that plane that he wants. Go to Sirach chapter 14. We start at verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? He shall not take pleasure in all his goods. Yeah, he murdered his own people. Look at all them people, all them dead bodies they found in North Carolina. And they about to have the same thing happen again in Florida. Yeah, he'll murder his own and call them collateral damage and won't lose no sleep. Verse 7, and if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he would declare his wickedness. Yeah, he declaring his wickedness now because you see the outcome of all these freak accidents. No. All of these are land grabs. Matter of fact, the reason they aimed that storm at Tampa, because your boy, Hill Gates, he wants to turn Tampa into a 15-minute city. Nobody elected this man. He's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He don't know shit. He just got money. And his grandmama, Margaret Sanger, was a small hat. But it's cool though, baby. Keep earning your judgments. Verse 8, the envious man have a wicked eye. See? Jealous in his feelings. Always want to do something to somebody because he can't beat them. You're an emotional child, Esau. I can't wait till the Lord gets rid of your ass. The envious man have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. That's why he declared war on this country. But y'all ain't figured it out yet. You'll figure it out when you look outside and see Red Dawn live. We still in Sirach. Let's get this one while we are still in here. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. This is how Esau got his kingdom, and this is how he's going to lose it. Dummy. Verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. This man murdered all them people in North Carolina just to get their land. Oh, you got a heavy price to pay. There is not a more wicked thing than the covetous man. For such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casts away his bowels. He just don't know what he doing to himself. He's setting himself up to get the worst punishment in human history. Good job. Now let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 2. Verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Perdition means chaos, destruction. Has he not been doing that since he's been in power? Yes. Go to verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped. So he, as Yahweh, sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. This man want to play God, but he got a God complex. How that work? I don't understand. How that work? You want to be God, but you scared of the true and living God? So somebody lying. But yet you claim there is no God. So what are you trying to be? You're trying to be destroyed. That's what you're trying to be. And the Lord said, bet he's going to help you out. Go to Jeremiah. Chapter 17. Verse 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. Keep on trusting this lying ass government. Your ass gonna end up in a FEMA camp with a chip in your hand. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Chapter 3. Verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. You know why the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh? Because you got a fool running the show, and all he puts out are lies and tell you they're facts. The same one that told you you could be anything your little sick ass imagination can imagine. Yeah, that guy who got people out here identifying as dogs and cats and little girls, grown ass Edomite men. And you got our people doing the same bullshit. Yeah, Esau told you could be anything you wanted to be. He didn't tell you could be destroyed though, did he? No, he ain't gonna tell you that, because that's what he wants for you. That's why he give you free will to destroy yourself, idiots. Y'all are dead men walking. Because the Lord, when he pull up, he gonna put you down physically. And it ain't gonna be no time for no debating or none of that shit. No, he made it real simple for you. Because if you reject this word, or if you are anti-Hamashiach, all you gotta do is stand there and burn. He made it real simple. And it ain't gonna be no word exchange. No, you're just gonna stand your ass there and burn. You'll get it right when you're reborn in the kingdom. And nobody finna argue with y'all about what's really going on. We ain't got time for that debate shit. Y'all can debate amongst yourselves while you standing there burning. You running out of time. Ain't nobody got time for that dumb shit. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Every time. We got the cure. You got the cure to what? oh, this new disease just came out last night. Last night, yeah, because they engineered it. They was making the bug and the cure at the same time. Esau won't think he's the Lord. No, you don't control both sides, punk. You're being used. Go to the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 33. And verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Their high places is all these lies that you thought were fact ever since this country started. For example, you think your Constitution meant something. You think you were free and independent from British rule. No. Mm-mm. You think your government is your friend. Yeah, they are found to be liars. And we treading on their high places. Their high places are all these lies they got established. Like the small hats are the Lord's people. No, we treading on that too. Isaiah chapter 45. And it's like I said in the beginning of the video, don't get it twisted. Don't give Esau all his credit. The Lord is doing this. He's using Esau to do this, to bring forth who he wants to punish. Bringing forth these storms to punish who he wants to punish. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now let's get another one. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse. Wait, is that the last one? Yeah, I want to come back to that one. Let's come back to that one. I want to say that one. Let's go to Job chapter 13. Verse 4, but ye are forgers of lies, you are all physicians of no value. Pretty much. And we already got Psalms 58 that tells you that they are born liars. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? They still think don't nobody know about the little wicked shit they doing to the people. They just that stupid. Let's get another one. This is Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7. Their feet run to evil and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Everywhere they go, death, violence, and destruction follows. Look at their history of the Edomite. Let me get another one. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. And we can start at verse, what is it, 3. This is when the Lord sent the prophets to prophesy against Mount Seir, which is Edom, because that is their home. We start at verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Verse 7. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. That's why he's going to destroy the United States. You just heard the Lord say he's doing this. He's just using Esau to do it. Don't get it twisted. Don't get this man credit like that. Second Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. You know how he gonna reserve the unjust to the day to be punished? That's why he gave y'all the vision to create bunkers. That's how he gonna reserve y'all. Just so the filthy rich can become the first slaves. Beautiful book, beautiful ending. Keep earning your judgment, baby. And let's go to Joel. Let's see what else is the Lord gonna do to him. Joel chapter 3, one of my favorites. We start at verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. He's talking about the children of Israel, what Esau has done to us. Verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Since you like to sell people, you don't mind your own children getting sold, your own wife, your own husband, your own children. They're going to get sold too. See what else the Lord going to do to them. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 22. For I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. If you don't have Edomite men to produce Edomite seeds, no more Edomites will be born. There you go. See what else the Lord gonna do to him. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 13. Start at 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from teeming, and they of the done shall fall by the sword. Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to mine fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. He's going to cut off the cancer of the earth, which is great. We can finally breathe. We can finally live. We can finally enjoy our families, our children, without this asshole going above and beyond, working pretty damn hard to make life ugly. And the world is not going to miss your dumb ass. You are the cancer of the earth. You always have been. Verse 17, and I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. Sounds wonderful. Go to Obadiah. See what else the Lord gonna do to him. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Are they not? Especially the United States and the state of Israel. Verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Verse 21, and Savior shall come up upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, not Esau punk ass. Go to Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. This is another scripture that shows you that the Lord did this. He's just using Esau to bring it to pass. Verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? That's a rhetorical question. And the answer is yes, he did it. A leaf don't fall from the tree without the Lord signing off. If the Lord didn't control both sides, evil and good, well, wicked and righteousness, left hand, right hand, he wouldn't be the Almighty now, would he? Yes, Satan works for the Lord. Go read the book of Job, whole nother video. Let's close with these. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Chapter 32. And we can start at verse 39. Read down to verse 43. Here it is. There goes some more proof for you. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there that can deliver out of my hand. Yeah. So if somebody died, it was the Lord's will for them to die, not Satan. The Lord sent Satan to put a spirit on somebody to take you out. Let's keep going. Verse 40, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. Verse 41, if I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies and will reward them that hate me. All you antichrist, all you Jesus freaks, all you Buddhist freaks, you Allah freaks, you are enemies of the Lord, because especially if you're Israelite, because you are worshiping false idols and gods, which he told you not to do. Verse 42, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Verse 43, rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants and will render vengeance to his adversaries and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. Sucks to be you, Esau, but hey, you earned your judgment. Keep on earning it so the Lord can deal with you, so your ass can get somewhere and sit down, so the nation of Israel and the other 16 nations can finally live in peace without your punk ass going above and beyond, creating heaven on earth. You'll be all right, though. You tough. You can do 1,000 years of slavery, can't you? You'll be all right. Call Allah Imlala Haya now Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wa Malakia, by Hashem Harawat, Wakagorash, Baraka Thumb, the water by Babal, Wakwam Yasharala. Shalom.